For the longest time, comic book video games have sucked. It wasn't until Batman Arkham Asylum came out in 2009 that a new standard was set and comic book fans everywhere could rejoice that we now had a game worth playing and worth talking about. 4 years later, after spawning a just as successful sequel, we are presented with Batman Arkham Origins. This isn't just an ordinary sequel. In fact, the game takes place before Arkham Asylum. Rocksteady stepped down as developer, passed us assets along to Warner Brothers studio, and voice actors were replaced for those much younger to sell the fact that the game took place before all the others. Make sense? Sure, but was it needed? Good old Bruce Wayne is neck deep into trouble. This is his second year since he put on the cape and cowl, and he pissed a lot of people off. So much so that Black Mask has placed a bounty on Batman's head, bringing out some of the worst villains out from the shadows to hunt him down. Bruce has to survive Christmas night, battle fierce enemies, and learn that not everyone in Gotham is his enemy, and not everyone in Gotham is safe. The story becomes very engaging as Bruce slowly changes throughout the story into something that resembles the person we are familiar with today. If you played an Arkham game, then you probably know the controls by heart. You can glide over the cityscape, hack enemy computers, sneak up on foes in like a true Batman fashion, or you can just walk out there and take on dozens of enemies at one time, blocking all their attacks, knocking them to the ground, only to be the last man standing. Yeah, not much has changed. My only complaint here will be that there are times where you may get lost due to your objective not being clear enough, and sometimes the camera fights against you in combat. These aren't deal breakers, but they are just minor conveniences that may become frustrating when you least want them to. Another problem would be if you played Arkham City, then everything will seem a bit all too familiar. I get it, you're a new developer trusted with a franchise that raised the bar for all other comic book games. And you don't want to take too many risks or change too many things because, let's face it, fans will complain. But they'll complain no matter what you do. And it seemed like the only thing new they added to the game besides bigger map was 2 or 3 different enemy types that were similar to Titans except for a weird martial arts enemy. And they threw in 1 or 2 quick time events to block an attack or to attack somebody back. There are 1 or 2 times where you are in the building or a long dark hallway and you just get this deja vu feeling like you've been there before. Multiplayer was also added to the game, but me not being much of a multiplayer guy, I'm not really going to review this game based off the multiplayer. And I know a lot of you are going to cuss me out for that, but come on. The past few Arkham games didn't need multiplayer, and they all got great scores. So let's just tag multiplayer on as an add-on, like multiplayer should be, just an add-on. If you want to be judged by multiplayer, then you can go ahead and go judge it yourself. That's just not what I do. The in-game visuals haven't changed much. There are some major improvements, especially in the cutscenes, but there really isn't much to say. The city looks great, the streets look dirty, and it's just how you would picture Gotham to be. And they made it work. Overall, Arkham Origins is a good game. It felt like the developers played it safe, but that's fine. I'd rather have a good game that feels familiar than have something daring that ends up being like Superman 64. I recommend picking this one up. The combat is good, the gameplay is satisfying, and the story will make you cheer for the young Dark Knight. The game really shines during the Firefly boss. That boss fight alone is worth picking up the game. Trust me when I say that. If you don't mind a game that seems a little too familiar, then this is your game. But if you were expecting something revolutionary like the original Arkham, then you might want to wait a little while longer. Either way, this is a good game and I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10.
So, little boys, what do you want for Christmas?